best entertainment on the earth. Tune in for Comics with Perch.
I had to make a bomb, Morty. I had to create a bomb.
What? A bomb?
We're gonna drop it down there. Just get a whole fresh start.
Hey everybody, this is Perch, and we're talking about major delays at Marvel Comics. So what's going on? And for what it's worth, just to throw it out there, there have been delays across all the comic publishers. Certainly DC had its share last year, still have a few out there. Many of the independent comic publishers, including Image and others, have had delays and schedule issues, many of which have cropped up to paper, or maybe more accurately, supply chain in and around paper shortages. So it often gets categorized as, well, we're out of paper, but it also is that the printers do not have enough staff to maintain capacity, or that the shipping companies is going to move things from one location to another is again short-staffed or hung up, or there's a lot of different parts in the supply chain. I don't need to explain what a supply chain is, but there's many pieces that have caused these delays. So Penguin Random House, which is the distributor to Marvel, and by the way, I think there has been at least a bit of confusion as to what that means. Penguin Random House did not buy Marvel. It means that they are the distributor for Marvel Comics, and it also means that Diamond can distribute Marvel as well, but they get their comics like any retailer. They get their comics from Penguin Random House, and they turn them around. Based on kind of their overall operation as a distributor, Diamond is able to do so without any noticeable delay. Your comics are not going to get later to you as a retailer if using Diamond through Penguin Random House. You're not necessarily getting them faster if you're going directly from PHR, but some retailers prefer to stick with Diamond because of loyalty or just moving parts. They wanted less of them, so that's all happened. It is interfering with the numbers, so there's been some numbers which we'll talk about in a minute. But here's the basic story. So Penguin Random House has sent a note out to comic book retailers saying that there's pretty significant schedule delays coming. Now, how significant? Again, massive, I think is the best way to put it. There has been just almost across the board. Marvel has announced delays. So, to give you an example, so X-Men Red number 5, Marauders number 5, Immortal X-Men number 5, X-Terminators, New Mutants number 28, Legion of X number 4, Judgment Day number 4, number 2, the big summer event, have all slipped into August. So this is a month or more delays. The Hellfire Gala has gone from June to July. Judgment Day number 1 has gone from early July to end of July. Knights of X, X-Men, X-Force, Wolverine have minor delays of a week or two. But there also has been shifts in... So before we get there, is this paper and supply chain? Well, it's hard to believe that it is. The reality is that, yes, there are delays across the board at DC and at other places, but they're not as significant. And they're not, it's not as big a deal. This is, I primarily listed a lot of the X titles, but this is, again, across the board. Venom, the books there, Deadpool, Star Wars, the Hulk, it's all being pushed out. And sometimes, in the case of a week, sometimes several weeks. Amazing Spider-Man, number 7, for example, coming up, was supposed to come out 6th of July. Now it's the 3rd of August. It's a month delay. The Amazing Spider-Man number 8, the following issue, gone from the 27th of July to the 17th of August. It's across the board. It's not just X-Men, and it's pretty significant. So what's going on? So there was another drama in here where it looked like Valerio Schiti, who is doing the art for Avengers X-Men Eternals Judgment Day, looked to have been replaced by a more unknown artist, Gio Villanova. But that was editorial just putting the wrong information into the solicitations. I have heard that it may not exactly be that way, that Valerio may be having another artist come in and do a couple pages for changes. So I mean, there may be more things going on here. I guess my point is, when you look at all this, it's unlikely that this is as simple as a paper shortage or supply chain. For a lot of it's also unlikely that this is Penguin Random House growing pains. It's possible, but Penguin Random House is getting out some of their other books more or less on time, and so it's really, these delays are significant. They're in some cases a month or more. Again, Avengers, X-Men, everything is slipping. Now, if you're a retailer, this is a pretty big deal because Marvel still does the bulk of your business. If you're in new comics, Marvel represents, close to 30 to 50%, depending on your stores, coming from Marvel. So if you have these issues, and primarily really big issues, things like this big summer event delaying a month, this is going to have a noticeable impact on your bottom line. This is going to continue to teach retailers a lesson of trying to migrate their business away from new comics. It's bad. But again, why is this happening? Well, if you look at that and you start to look at some of the other pieces around, like this mistake over Judgment Day, who's the artist was, the fact that recently in the Marvel catalogs, a number of titles were missing, misplaced, the solicitations were in the wrong location, there were actually spelling errors in there. It's starting to paint a bigger picture of the company has some basic product disarray. That this isn't just like, oh, some people don't really care. It feels more like actually either they're not staffed correctly or there's something pretty significantly awry. Tucked into all that, Comicron posts up their numbers. And what's funny about this is these numbers are what they get is they're getting the estimated units from Diamond, and then they're doing a projection. And the projection they're doing here is based on the idea of, Diamond represents a smaller percentage of Penguin Random House's business. So it's been said that Diamond is about a fifth of the business. The reality is, in a lot of these books, Diamond is, at least from what I've been told, somewhere around 35 to 40%. So less than half, but that's kind of the people who are continuing to order through Diamond versus just getting it directly from Penguin Random House. They don't have the final numbers from Penguin Random House. So there's this game going on of, well, how many comics are selling? And so there's this list on just the X books that was posted on Twitter, but you can go to Comicron and see the whole thing for Marvel. And the numbers are depressing. Again, they're partial because this is Diamond, and people are estimating at what the projection is with through everything. But X-Men, which is arguably one of Marvel's biggest titles, they had big promotion. It was the centerpiece of the Krakoan era. That's selling through Diamond 22,716 units. That's it. Now the projection is it's somewhere in the 60s because that Penguin Random House would make up the total bulk of the order. Even if that's true, that's incredibly low for X-Men. The belief is that this projection is high, probably high by a pretty decent amount. I think the way I would probably assess this is it's probably closer to 50. So if your number one book, X-Men, is selling in the 50s, that's puzzling. The 10 Deaths of Wolverine, 10 Lives of Wolverine, which was meant to be kind of the spiritual sequel to House of X Powers of 10, sold 20,000, 19,000 units. That's it. Through Diamond, with a projection again into the 50s. You look at, Sabretooth a number one launch of a new book within this X-Men era, selling 13,000 copies through Diamond. Projected around 37. That's dead on arrival for number one. New Mutants, number 24, 10,000 copies. X-Men Legend, 9,900 copies. Again, settling somewhere in the 20s. They have New Mutants selling 10,000 through Diamond, maybe 29 through Penguin Random House, all in. Yikes. That's a scary number. Overall, though, if you look at all of their business, these numbers are soft. Immortal X-Men, big launch, Kieran Gillen coming back to X-Men, 32,000 units sold through Diamond. Again, they're projecting kind of 2x at 90, but I don't see how that's possible. Keep in mind also that a lot of the retailers, if you go to their Facebook groups and you look at, a lot of the retailers are ordering variants that they order really high on variants, ordered through Diamond, did not make the switch to Penguin Random House. Why? I have no idea. But I think these numbers are inflated. You just get a number of these things. The Devil's Reign crossover for X-Men, 9,000 copies sold through Diamond, 26,000 projected all in, which we believe is high. Yikes. The 10 Lives of Wolverine #5, the big conclusion to this, it revealed Moria as the big bad for the X-Men. 18,000 copies sold. First printing. So if you look through all this stuff together, there's issues at Marvel. The comics are not getting out on time. We're seeing artists kind of randomly hop around on books. We're seeing issues in the solicitations. It's everybody focuses on DC because for whatever reason their kind of veil of secrecy is not great, and people often see what's going on inside that company. Marvel does a much better job of keeping it locked down, but there are definite problems at Marvel. I mean, there's just no way around that, and these numbers are bad. Even though they're partial for Diamond, this is not healthy at all for this run. So I mean, there's definitely issues. This is not a supply chain issue. This is not a paper issue. Marvel has some major kind of, I don't know what you want to control, editorial kind of management problems right now. I've mentioned it for a while that they're there. Things are clearly amiss at the company in terms of just logistically getting out what they want. This is alarming, and you got to keep your eye on it. So interesting to see how it rolls out. Thanks for listening.